Good afternoon. Today we're talking about abstraction. It's fun. You can use color, any kind of line. You can basically do anything you want. You can add things that look real. It's taking something that you recognize and turning it into something that you've probably never seen before. You can abstract a face, or what a car looks like, or build a ridiculous non-functional house, and that would be abstract. Abstraction is a big term, but this picture is fairly abstract. It's dots of color, it's oval shapes, it's blending of colors. I'm not sure what it is. I like the look of it. And so that's why abstraction is important to me. Let's make an abstract piece of work that's got a lyric line, that's a scribble line, so it's easy. And then pick several colors, maybe 2 or 3, and let's use the white of our background and create an abstract piece of work that we'll enjoy looking at. You ready? All right. I have my materials today. I'm going to work with a pencil first. I'm going to draw this lyric line, and then I have my trusty Crayola markers. You could use crayons, you could use paints, you could cut the shapes out of colored papers and glue them on, but you will need to draw a line. So this line is called a lyrical line. It's like a singing line, la 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 la. And you don't pick up the pencil. You start in one place, you make the line throughout and stop. And that's the line. And you don't correct it, and you don't say, well, I want it to be more like this or that. And then we're going to add a few shapes to it. Probably rounded triangle shapes or something like that. Let's see. As we start, we're just moving through, covering space, trying to change up just a little bit. That's what I drew. So now I get to decide what shapes can I add to this. So what's going to change this is to draw a shape that's completely opposite, like a tooth. It's kind of a triangle shape. If I put a tooth here, this would start to look like a mouth. So maybe I don't want to do that. I could put an eye here, but then it would start to look like a face. Don't think about things. Try to just move your pencil and have a good time. Now my pencil's done, because I'm drawing a lot and practicing and having fun with it. But here are a few rounded lines of different sizes. Maybe that and that are different, and that's enough. And then I have 2 lines on the outside. Pretty simple. Think about what you want to put in the space to, if you want to fill it in or not. Now, I have yellow, and I have green, and I have blue, and those are colors that I usually would do a landscape with, but I'm going to do this, and I'm also using a black. So first I would start with my yellow, and I would color this in as well as I can. Use the side of that chisel marker so that it fills it in nicely. And I'm working fast to show you how to do this. You can take your time and contemplate a little more if you'd like. But filling these in now. If I fudge a little, if I get outside of a line, my black contour line that I'm going to retrace the pencil, all of that pencil I can retrace. It'll cover up any mistake. Now, I don't know if I have enough spaces to color in. If I wanted more color, I would need to draw more shapes. Maybe this is more about space and white paper and line and these 3 colors limited. So I'm not using a lot. It's a lot less color than I would take to color in most pictures. Now, are you seeing my wrist? I hope you're watching where my hand is, because if I run my hand into my wet marker, what's going to happen? Smear, and then I'm probably not as happy with my work. So maybe I need to move it. These are decisions that you have to make as you draw or paint or marker or anything, as you make things. Could color just a little here. One mark this way, one mark this way, and just adding some line, because I didn't see enough color in this for me, and I'm adding just a bit. And maybe if I do this again, I would choose to do it a different way. And that's the fun of abstraction. Every move you make, every breath you take, all that, it changes something about how your eye interacts with this piece of paper. It's changed now. It's not a white paper anymore. Now here's the fun part. You take this marker, or your marker, not my marker, but you know. So first, trace this line. Careful, Mr.C, to lift your hand and try not to go straight like I just did. I'm working on a notebook. I would rather work on a piece of paper that's torn out. That's why I like it, because I know it's going to be on a flat surface. But I'm doing this on a notebook today, just to do it. It changes the outcome of my work, so I like to try different things. So this was the part I wasn't crazy about. Right here, it got flat. So I want to pull that back out and make it look intentional in a way. Hopefully, make that line get smaller together, and that looks better. And then trace this line. And the paper does move, and it really throws me off, but make the best of it. So maybe I hold this down a bit, because I want it to be a nice sharp line. Adding some marks into these colors. Different thicknesses say different things. If you did the jazz picture, this is a lot like that. You're reacting to the space that you have. Now, as I start to look at this in different ways, I can start to objectify or see a face or a snake or a hand or something funny like that. You can go ahead and do that. Start to become objective and turn it into things. I like to put objective things like seagulls or a dog head or different iconography or things that I associate or think about. Like, I grew up having dogs, so dogs are very special to me. So I might have a dog hidden in quite a few pictures. Or it's part of my language in a way, if that makes sense. So it's your personal story, it's your narrative. So this is starting to take shape, turning it, You don't have to turn it. I just find it helps me look at the whole piece and fill in parts that I want to be more exciting. I want this pressure to work against that pressure, and I'm noticing where the black is, where there's a lot of white space, where there's green, and then there's no green here, so I have to do something about that. And I wanted a kind of thick shape as an anchor, and it almost looks like an anchor, and then maybe really thin. And so play with those things. I hope you've had fun drawing with me with a limited palette of colors. It's green, blue, yellow. Now, if I want to get really fancy, I could start to bleed some of this, but be careful. Don't go into the black too much. But I'm only doing that with green, or you make up your rule. This softens the edge of the piece because these light colors fade out, and then I've done something new once again. So hopefully you enjoy abstraction. Look for it in your life. There's so much to talk about. Thanks, boys and girls. Turn this in on Google Classroom and let's talk about it.